Grand rising, beloveds, love and immunity. My intent for this video is to life and life abundantly. I hold no other motives, directives, beliefs, structures, foundations, entities, or doctrine to this message, but to give it on to life that it may become life's abundance. This morning I woke up and God just downloaded a lot of things into me to come on this message. I told you that I really don't want to do this anymore, but I started waking up the soul's journey in many of you guys, and I can't leave you hanging. I have to be obedient. See, a lot of people don't understand that in order to get this blessing of life, in order to get the knowledge that people perish because they don't have, you have to be obedient to life. You have to be obedient. It's no, today I can do it and today I can't do it. No, every day I have to choose who I will serve. And some days I will have to not be able to do this. It might be days, weeks, but don't ever think that I will not be an obedient servant. As the Lord, or as Spirit moves me, it walks in my footsteps. The words are life's. They don't belong to me. Nothing belongs to me, beloveds. And when you can truly understand this, you'll be able to let all your bondages, your sufferings, your sicknesses, everything down. You'll be able to let go of everything, because you don't want nothing to belong to you. You don't want to hold nothing higher than life. Y'all sacrificing y'all life to bullshit. And the saddest part is that you guys already have dominion over it. So all I asked of you, beloveds, all life asked of us, stand still. Just remember, I'm your God. That's all I asked of us. Stand still. Why? Because I already sent an angel before you. I put you in the mind of consciousness, which is pure intelligence called life. And once it is your renewed mind, ask. Nothing is already given. Seek, and you will find that I find all things and add them on to you. So, God is not human or man or woman. So God can't be a liar. And this was one of the directives that I was given this morning to explain. God is not and cannot be a liar. Why can God not be a liar? Because God represents an intelligence called life. Okay, there's no higher intelligence than life, beloveds. I came to give you life. Look that scripture up. There's no higher intelligence but life. Okay, if we didn't have life, we wouldn't know death, we wouldn't know sickness, we wouldn't know sin, we wouldn't know nothing without life. That's why we are the human being. The being represents life, the existence of the human. It tells its own story, because you and I are the book of life. And this is why it states that God is not human, so God cannot lie. God is an intelligence called life, and this is why it said, do not be conformed by the world. See, humans live for the world. Humans live for the world, but God only lives for life. That's the only thing God can live for. And when you understand that this, in the Bible where it says, I and my Father are one, it's meaning that I and my Father are this life. We're this force of life. We're this intelligence of life. And anything that you tell this intelligence to do, disclaimer, because I'm gonna get to why I'm saying this. Because some people, the next one, so I can show you what this is all feeding into. Disclaimer, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. Remember whose eyes these are. Remember whose mind this is. So anything that you do, it's an eye for an eye. Remember, it says, Surely, if you eat from the knowledge of that tree of good and evil, I don't believe in either one of them. In this kingdom called life, they don't exist. So to mess with those deities and demons, you messing with what? A wrath from the Lord. So the next one that I came across is, have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? But I'm going to go back up to the first one. God is not a liar. And the reason why God is not a liar is because God is a intelligence called life. And this intelligence, again, gives life to anything. Did you not see how ignorant we became in our own intelligence, not realizing that you live inside of a chemical body? And to alter a chemical body is no different than the external chemicals. It's no different, beloveds. As on heaven, so on earth. As within, so without. As micro, so macro. So it's trying to show you, I work on the same understandings within you or outside of you. This is the law of polarity. The law of polarity is a beautiful law, because that law shows us an eye for an eye, beloveds. It shows us. And it's a beautiful thing to understand the law. Because when you understand the law, you understand you don't break it. You just don't break it. Not the law of the world. You can't understand the law of the world, because the law of the world is being broken by the lawmakers. So it's an eye for an eye. So if they break the law, they're automatically going to teach the people to break the law as well. An eye for an eye. So if somebody teaches us about sickness, we will become its sickness. If somebody teaches us about death, we will become its death. If somebody teaches about hate, we will become the hate. It's just, that's what an eye for an eye means. That's what, surely, if you eat from that knowledge, if you eat from somebody, see, all we can understand inside of this kingdom, this is a living kingdom. We serve a living God, beloveds. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. We serve a living God, and this living God is the truth. It's so truthful that it shows you through your own eyes. This is why I say an eye for an eye. So if you eat outside of me, so if you take on somebody else's, what they call intelligence, or I just call it doctrine, that's the only thing I can express the world's understanding as. The world created a belief system. It's just a belief system. I tell you, it's just like a poltergeist. Wish it away, Caroline, wish it away. If we don't believe in it, it does not exist. The only reason why it gets life is because we sacrifice our life. You sacrifice your life's abundance to live in a doctrinated, made up system that works against you, because it tells you to teach your own law, the living law inside of you, to go against you. And this is just the truth. Truth, it tells us truth will set us free. An eye for an eye. Come on, beloved. It's really easy. And it's really a motivating spirit when you get to this understanding. It's a motivation. It's just a motivation. You want to motivate life to be nothing but itself. That's why when I come on here, I say my only intent is for life. I have no other intent. Why would I give life an intent to do something that I know life will now execute? Like execute. Life gonna execute it to the point where it may need to use you because you gave your life onto it. So if you gave your life onto death, and somebody is conjuring up a spell of death, which means speaking death, the power of life and death is in the tongue, and you already offered yourself over as a sacrifice to that doctrine or that belief, because you know not what you do, because you ate from somebody else's knowledge of life, and life is just one thing. I am my Father one. You don't stay renewed in my mind, beloveds. I'm consciousness. I will tell you exactly what I need you to do. Like today, when I got up, you see this? God just started downloading the directive that he needed me to be one in on this day. And each one of them represents, because my intent is life. My intent is not the world. My intent is not religion. My intent is not being black. My intent is but one thing. I and my Father are only one, which means that I always will operate under that one intent, and that is life. That means that the law, I will not break the law. I will never, ever be able to break the law because my one intent, I have but one intent. I and my Father are one, and that's life. So life will never tell me anything that's not living. It will never put poltergeist before my eyes anymore. I will not draw on those things nigh to me. They won't come towards me because my only intent now is life. And when you understand that life is strategic. So when things in life are, when life wants to give you discernment, literally when life wants to give you discernment, life will bring the things in which you need to see right up to your face. Like yesterday, and this will come later on in the video. I'll share this with you. Yesterday, God brought some discernment to me that I didn't even ask for, but for some reason, I needed to hear this discernment because it got me to this message. It got me to today's message. That discernment brought me here. So God is very strategic. God is a we serve a intelligent God, beloved. And as long as you don't give this beautiful mind, it says don't be conformed by the world. Stay renewed in my mind. Stay transformed and renewed in my mind, because God's mind is not a liar. But a conformed mind, it lies to death. It lies to death. It's though I may walk in the valley of the shadow of death. Do you know what the valley of the shadow of death is, beloveds? It's a conformed mind. That's what it is. You got to understand that this kingdom right here, the kingdom of heaven within, has but two logic understandings. Two logic understandings. And you don't operate off of logic, because logic is something that, in humans' case, God is not human. Humans operate off of logic. They don't operate off of intelligence. They operate off of logic, which means whatever program they have running inside of their kingdom, that is what they operate off of. It's logic. So if your program, if all I was taught my whole life was the understanding of being black, if I didn't go into the schools and learn words, and I didn't learn math, and I didn't learn algebra, and I didn't learn history, and I didn't learn English, my only logic or my only program would be that I'm black. So all of my life, I would, if somebody said any of the commands that black people understand, like nigga, like bitch, no offense. No offense. Nobody cannot say that they do not and have not used those words. Those are some popular words. When I go on social media, those are words that I hear fluently. Are you dumb, nigga? These kind of words. If 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 that's a program. Those are some words that we use, like, how can I say this? Repetitively. Those are words that we use repetitively, so they become our dictionary. See, a lot of you guys don't understand that the words that we use repetitively in any culture, in any foundation, in any structure, it becomes it's like I harden Pharaoh's heart. This is what it becomes. It becomes hardened in our memory, in ourselves. And this is how we become the artificial intelligence. If you program me enough, this is how we learn at school. Schools teach us how conformity works. It teaches you just how conformity works. It's a repetitive mind control. It's a repetitive mind control, a repetitive mind control. Remember, it says, do not conform my mind. Stay renewed in it. So it's trying to warn us right there. If you conform my mind, that's a repetitive, it's called mind control. Anything that conforms a intelligence called life, it is now under the mind control of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This is somebody telling you, no, my way is good. No, their way is evil. And surely you will die because you have given this intelligence a command to go and give life to whatever good and evil consist of. Common sense, beloveds. Common sense is something that you don't have to think about. You're a common law. So common sense is something that is innate. It's innate, which means that it is already genetically your makeup called life. It knows its own mind. It knows its own body. Remember, in your mother's womb, it knew you very well. Limb by limb, cell by cell, tissue by tissue, organ by organ, it created a body of intelligence called life. So, have eyes to see, have ears to hear the truth. It's already innate. And as long as you don't conform me, which means brainwash me, do mind control on me. This is what the Bible speaks about witchcraft. See, witchcraft is somebody governing you as the body, which means that they can spell your chemical body. It's just like what happens when you mix ammonia and bleach. So what happens when you mix a race and a race that are two different understandings? Auto reaction. In our case, it's called warfare. This is why it states, I and my Father are one. We're but one thing. We all come from the same image and the same likeness, beloveds. No one can deny this but a liar. And God is not a liar. This is why it says, whose eyes do you think you're seeing through right now? Why would you lie to me? What would give you the audacity? Literally, what would give you the audacity to lie to a living God? Remember, whose kingdom are you living in right now? And if you have but one intent, your intent is so pure at heart. See, we have but two directives inside of this body, and it is the mind. The mind, it tells you, stay renewed, transformed and renewed in my mind, and guard your heart through the well springs of life. You hear me? Life is telling you how to understand yourself. Life. It didn't say death. It said guard. Put an armor around your heart. This is where I'm at. It's trying to tell you right here, as long as you keep that heart armored, guarded, shielded. Thank you, Spirit. I got a good old beautiful testament right now that it was beautiful. Then I won't taint you. I cannot taint you. You cannot be tainted. You cannot be conformed. You cannot become a wicked heart. It's like, who knows the heart is wicked? Nobody operating in the world knows their heart is wicked, but the very truth of matter, because that's what you're operating off of, is that you are wicked. Why? Because you're operating outside of your own intelligence. And what you are doing is you're telling this intelligence to come back inwardly, an eye for an eye, and sacrifice you to create a world that is a poltergeist. Just common sense, beloveds. Common sense is a truth within its own innate life. See, one thing about life is life can't lie to itself. Why? Because it says, ask and it shall be given. It just can't lie to itself. Why? It's an eye for an eye. So if you say today, I want to be healthy, life will really give that on to you, beloveds. It will literally give that on to you. But the reason why we don't see it is because we already healthy. And your doctrinated understanding of health is not God's. Who told you your understanding of health? Where did you learn your understanding of health? Because health, all health is life. That's it. In life's understanding and life's directive, I came to give you life. And I gave you dominion over everything. That means health, sustainability. So when you see that you're not getting these things, it's not because of you. It's because of the things that you have programmed inside of you. Some, not some of these, all the things inside of us that have been teaching us about life. That is how this life or this consciousness is going to go out and obtain those things for us. So some people, they believe that they got to work hard. So that's what they have to do. Some people have been taught that they got to go out there and be treacherous. I mean, you got to take what you want. And these are the people who become criminals. The highest people of the world are literally mental criminals. And they don't know this. This is why it states, who knows the heart is wicked. Okay, because life is just a consciousness. It's a living testament. And what it did is that it born. Remember, beloved, in your mother's womb, I knew you. I knew you. I came to give you life. And all I asked for you was, don't go conform myself to that world. Don't conform me. What does a man profit? Listen, what does a man profit if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? Did you know not your soul is your life? Your soul is what God put in this body when it chose you in your mother's womb. And that soul is it's a directive to life. Like your soul belongs to life. Your soul belongs to something pure, something righteous, something truthful. And it already sent that soul, which is the angel. Your soul is a living angel. It's a living testament called life. And this body is just what it had to turn itself into in order to be given the manifestation of life, beloveds. That's it. This body is really the dumbest. It's dumb. It's dumb. This is why I say don't honor flesh, but honor the spirit. In the spirit realm, you don't have to do nothing. Spirit is intelligence. It's when you give it a directive of conformity is when it becomes a warfare, a spiritual warfare. Anytime we give a human power over life, and a human is dumb, it's like the only way human can have life in the world is if it has somebody program its mind, conform its mind. And then that's what the Bible is telling us about. Surely if you eat from the knowledge of that good and that evil, you're gonna die. That's not my knowledge. That shit is fake. It's made up. It's a belief. And how do we know this? My belief may not honor your belief. My belief, I don't have any beliefs. So nothing that anybody of that world tells me is living. It's not true. Why? Because it's just made up. Caroline, wish them away. Wish them away. It's just a freaking poltergeist. It's a belief. Have y'all ever seen on certain things, they got this big old bubble, and in the bubble, it got this word, and then the bubbles just pop. That's what doctrine is. That's what doctrine is. It's just a belief. And if you were never taught it, if you were never taught anything, the intelligence inside of your mind would teach you. It would teach you, beloveds. It would teach you about why it brought you here. Remember, I knew you very well in your mother's womb. Now, if I can create a human being, why would I just create this human being and make it dumb? Come on, beloveds. That would be defeating the purpose of life. Then we could not ever be created, because an artificial intelligence cannot create life. The only thing that an artificial intelligence can do is execute death. Death of spiritual wealth, death of spiritual life, death of spiritual sovereignty, death of spiritual dominion. That's what conformity or doctrine. That's the only thing that it can do. Remember, once we take on somebody else's understanding or knowledge, now we become its program. We become its program. So if that program tells us nigga, you are dumb, or nigga, you are this, then you have to be the nigga who is dumb, the nigga who is this. Remember, it said that we could not read. It was against the law to read, and what did we do? Every other race can read, but we couldn't read. And we could not see this, beloveds. Let's look at truth. We literally could not see that everybody else who's made in the same image and likeness can read. But it wasn't okay for us to read. And we all agreed to this. Because that program is, what is it? Surely if you eat from that program or from the tree of that knowledge of good and evil, you will have to die by it. And this is the next thing that is why it's bringing me into this one. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Have you ever wondered why a person can be so evil, beloveds? See, we need to realize this, what I just came out of is leading us into this. Some of us can't understand why would we have to go through the things that we go through. Have you literally ever wondered what can make a person evil? Or do you even know what makes evil? I mean, do you literally know what makes evil? So inside of this kingdom is a chemical makeup. It's chemical. So just like, I'm going to use these two. We got a moisturizer, and then we got a perfume. Okay, so this is bleach, and this is ammonia. This is the body, and this is the mind. Okay, so I'm using them as within, so without. So anytime we mix two things together, we turn it into a autoimmune deficiency. So what we can call it is a antichrist. It becomes a antichrist or an antibody. So we make it a body against life. And an antichrist, which means is that we turn its mind against life. That's what the antichrist represents. The antichrist is a conformed mind. That's what the antichrist is. And the antibody is the against. It's the being against the human. So it's you against your own life. This is what the adversary is. This is what an adverse reaction is. This is what an autoimmune deficiency is. It's any time where you literally have gone outwardly. You no longer can see inside of life's eyes. You're no longer intelligent. This is what I say about the artificial intelligence. Anybody operating from a doctrinated mind is an artificial intelligence. Why? Because their whole program is from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. You tell people what is good and you tell people what is evil. But life knows but one thing. I know that I am life. And if you would have never altered, remember, if you would have never altered me, made me into two different things, I would have just stood for one thing. I am my Father of one. I came to give you life and life abundantly. I would have just stood for life. But because you altered me, you segregated me from my own right to life. And how do we know this? Everything tells its own story, beloveds. It's like it's too common sense. You got a human. Okay. You got a human being. Just one thing. A human being. It's just one image that turned itself into the likeliness of life. And you separated it. Human being. Two. I am my Father only but one. The only thing that can create a human is the being, which is life. So we didn't even have to address life as a human. We didn't even have to address life as a race. We didn't even have to address life as a sex. Anytime that we segregate life, surely if you eat from the knowledge of good and evil, this is how we justify segregating life. Literally, the mind is dumb and it does not understand this, and this is not anything for you to be offended by. You should be offended by somebody calling you a minority. You should take all offense to anybody commanding your mind, which is your life, to be lesser than life. You should be offended by that. You should be calling on a higher power called life to ensure that whoever that adversary is, thank you, Spirit, is handled according to the law of life. See, we don't want nobody to be handled according to no other law but life. Because the wrath is not ours. The wrath is the Lord's. Remember, life is a living law. We serve a living God. And only a living God can handle any form of life, because it is only life that creates all things. Remember, life created death, so life has authority over death. This is why it says, no weapon formed against me will prosper. No weapon formed against life is going to ever prosper, because life is a living testament. It's a law that protects life. It protects life from death. It protects life from sickness. It protects life from hell. It protects life from adversary people. It protects life from all things that are not living. It's like when, wish them away, Caroline, wish them away. I remember when I was growing up, and these poltergeists, because you can't understand that a thought is a poltergeist. It's a poltergeist. And see, I had discernment at a very age to see how the mind has become so wicked. I had eyes to see this. So I already know what a poltergeist is. I already know everything of this world. Somebody says, you can't know it all. Why? Didn't life create all this shit? So why can't you know everything? If I know all this shit is made up, it's not real, number one, I don't know it all, because it's not real. There's nothing to know but life. So to hear people say that, it's like, it's an ignorance within its own self, in one ear and out the other. Sometimes it gets me a little triggered, because it's just, how do we give these people authority to lead us? Like, literally, thank you, Spirit, thank you so much. How are we giving these people so much authority and power to lead us in this ignorance, in this wickedness, in these curses, in these plagues, in these transgressions? But have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? See, a lot of people don't understand, and I explained this about how we segregated life. That was the root to all evil. The root to all evil is when we told life to become another god. So death is a god. Race is a god. Religion is a god. This lotion is a god. This perfume is a god. Anything that we tell life to do against itself is either an antibody or an antichrist. Because what you are literally telling life to do, this is why it says don't honor false prophets, idol statutes, and other gods. You are literally telling life to fuck off. And life is an intelligence. Life's only job is to ensure life. And you messing with the big boy, and the big boy is looking down on you saying, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Spirit. The big boy is looking down on you and saying, did this motherfucker that I knew very well in his mother's womb that I chose as my image and my likeness to come here and represent me as life? Is this motherfucker trying to play God over me? You telling a living law, a living God, that you living inside of its kingdom, like you living inside of its kingdom. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Now, would you think that was evil? Would you believe that that was evil? To be living inside of a intelligence, to be living inside of a living kingdom, to be born by a living God, and you tell this living kingdom, this living God, and this intelligence, you greater than it. You make the laws of its life. And then the laws that you make, they deadly weapons against everything that you touch. It's a deadly weapon against everything that you touch. Because life is only one thing. I and my Father are one. I'm just life. And anything you put that program of that good and evil into, it's going to be whatever program you created it to be. So if your mind, listen, so if your mind created evil, see the mind that tries to play God over life, this is why I say don't you serve no other gods. They create evil. They are the creator of evil. You are the creator of evil. Who knows the heart is wicked? Did you not know in your mother's womb, I made you? Limb by limb, cell by cell, organ by organ, tissue by tissue. I made you. And you gonna do what? You gonna try to tell me I'm black? And then create a word so fucking lethal? That I don't even have no common sense? Tell me I can't read? Tell me I can't think? Tell me I can't be life? Tell me I'm not equal to my own life? Come on, beloveds. Come on, beloveds. Is that righteous? Is that loving? Thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much, Spirit. And wouldn't that be evil? Okay, some people think that I'm evil because what I'm doing right now is speaking the truth. There are people right now, because they have taken over this beautiful truth and they turned it into other names. They turned it into other names, and they would say that me speaking the truth, me having one intent, and that is for life, me telling the living truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, they would say that I was evil. They would say that I was mad. They would say that I was causing problems. But there's no problem in life. There's nothing inhumane in life. There's nothing wicked in life. There's nothing wicked in truth. There's nothing wicked in praising life, uplifting life, telling the living truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth for life. Because that is the manna that we are all supposed to feed one another. This is why Jesus said the truth will set us free. But some people who call God in another name because they are now the God of that understanding of what good and evil is. They just took over this mind. They took over this temple. They took over this kingdom. I'm telling you. The foreign natures, the red blood cells are anybody who has taken over this kingdom and called it in another name. I came to give you life. And see, the thing about life is that life don't destroy itself. That's why I got a law called polarity. What life does is it uses you, an eye for an eye. It uses you against you. This is why I say, don't honor false prophets. Everything they touch is now under the law of polarity. It's going to come back to itself. If it comes through your children, if it comes through anything that you touch, I got you. An eye for an eye. See, you living inside of a living God. And this God gave you dominion over everything. So why would you want to create? And then you're going to create sickness, sin, and death. When you living in purity. When you living in a perfect image, a perfect likeness. A pure kingdom where there's no sickness. Where sickness can't even exist because you're living in an elemental kingdom. You serve a living God. and you want to go outside of this God and create all this shit that you don't realize that you bringing back into this kingdom. Remember, ain't nothing that you doing in that world taking place in that world, beloveds. Nothing. Everything you doing in that world right now is waging war against this kingdom. You literally waging war against God right now, all of y'all. All of y'all, and y'all don't understand what Judgment Day is all about. Judgment Day is about everything that you did. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Literally, have you ever wondered why a person can be so evil? How is that even possible? What would make a person do something that will hurt another person? And right now, somebody would say that what I'm doing is evil. I mean, they would literally tell me what I was doing was evil, and that I was the Antichrist, and that I was the antibody. And everything that I do, my only intent is to life. My intent is not to the world that it told you do not be conformed to. The tree of good and evil, I'm not trying to prove good or evil. They do not exist. They are both poltergeists. And once I sacrifice my life, the only thing that I am under the authority and the control and the existence of is life. So if I use my life to create another potion, like race, sex, religion, government, then I automatically tell life to turn me into an antibody, an antichrist. Separate me from itself. Why? Because, beloved, I gave you dominion over life. And you chose, you made a conscious choice to take my life, take it outside of me, and create another knowledge called good and evil, where I don't exist, where purity does not exist. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Purity cannot exist outwardly. Nothing living can exist outwardly. Let me tell you this, beloveds. This is how I got this very download this morning. And it's clearly, with beautiful clarity and with beautiful living truth that should not offend anyone, cannot harm any form of existence. Thank you, Spirit. Cannot destroy life. Cannot program anybody into any doctrinated belief. I don't teach doctrine on any level. My only intent is into life. It's not to the world. Why would I bring my intent of life? This good old manna, this good old immunity, this good old health, this good old great well-being that gives me life, and I would conform it, which means take it outwardly. Now understanding an eye for an eye. Do you know I see you, beloveds? When you go out into that world, whose eyes do you think you're trying to secretly do all these things to? Each and every one of these bodies belong to life, beloveds. Some people think, no, you belong to me because I named you a race. I named you a nigger, or I named you black, or I named you Hispanic. Some people right now believe they own you. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit is like, I can feel life right now just saying, oh my gosh, inside of me. Because it's not happy with us. Life is not happy with us. And life is trying to be so peaceful through this kingdom. See, because I have one intent. And when you have a pure heart, God will use you. God will use you to glorify its name, to glorify its kingdom. And how do you glorify God's name and God's kingdom? Lead them back to life. Uplift the spirit with truth. That's it. And then it showed me, have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? And how it showed me this, it says, yesterday I told you God is very strategic. Life is very strategic. It's intelligence. And it's going to lead you. It's like when I was walking out of the valley of the shadow of death, how I got walked out of that valley of the shadow of death without fearing no evil was having eyes to see. I was already living inside of this kingdom, beloved. It's already living inside of God. So the day that I fear anything, that's what I say, perfect love cast out all fear. You got to have a love for God so pure, so righteousness, so righteous, so humbling. That's what righteousness means, and that's what humble means. It does not mean anything outwardly. It says human honors outwardly appearance. That's all humans want you to see. They want you to see how much money this person got, how many houses this perfect person got. But God only knows our heart. God only knows our heart. That outwardly appearance, have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? That outwardly appearance is an anti-Christ. It's an antibody. It is against you seeing life within this kingdom. It's against you using your mind as intelligence called life within this kingdom. It's against your life. It's against life itself. Because your life is not even your life. This is why I say my only intent is life. I don't have no right to tell life what to do. I can't call life in another name. I'm living inside of his kingdom. I can't win life. I can't go against life. I'm like, life would turn me into an antibody and an autoimmune deficiency, beloveds. Let me tell you. That's what life does when we disobey it. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Oh yeah, I do know why a person can be so evil. They hate life. They are literally the anti-Christ. They are literally the anti-body. Remember, anytime that we alter one and we turn it into two, it becomes the law of polarity. So if I came to give you life and you turn that life into death, that law is coming back to you, an eye for an eye. And what the law does is, because the law don't live in the world, the law can only live in blood. You get this? Life can only live inside of this human being. Life can only live in the blood. Okay? So what I'm going to do with that blood is I'm going to turn it into a DNA, which is a Akashic record. And it's going to hold your book of life. It's going to tell that law that we know as polarity how to come back and repay you for what you did against life. See, we don't get away with nothing. Our blood is a memory cell, and it holds all of our transgressions and our sins. And some people, like yesterday, I got into a heated conversation with someone that truly stands on the Bible. This person stands on the Bible. You can't, like, it was written in the Bible. Like, literally, they just, as long as it was written in the Bible, it's God. This is what and it's a lot of religious people who stand on that Bible. But we have to remember the intent. The intent behind the Bible was not for life. The intent of that Bible was a king who had, for the philosopher's stones, make up a book, a magic. It's a magic book. If y'all understand, the Bible is a magic book. Is that not what Jesus did? Is that not what all the prophets did? They understood this internal kingdom. And what they did is, all prophets, they understand this internal kingdom. And what they do is they reverse your curses. They reverse your sins. They reverse your program. Only a prophet of life can tell life what to do. And false prophets, all they can do is destroy life. And they get you. They get you in the cults. They get you in religion. See, religion is the biggest trap. It traps life into this one mindset. It traps life into one mindset, and which means one program, and everybody in that program. And then you got about 50,000 religions. So you got these big giant ass occults everywhere. I mean, these occults are so powerful in death, in leading death, in showing you the knowledge of good and evil. It's telling us right here, surely if you eat from that knowledge of good and evil, beloveds, surely, what does religion do to each and every one of us? They tell us what is good and what is evil. But I and my Father is only one thing. We only life. And in life, I'm a law. And the only thing that I know how to do is how to create life. So if you want your life to be good, I'm going to create it good. Now, what is good? Because some people thought making this likeliness and this image that was one and the same, just because I got a different color than you does not make me different from you. Don't we all have a body called a human being? So what made you think that my body or my human being or my existence, which is the same likeness and likeliness as yours, was not equal to yours? Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? And I'm not wrong for saying this. I'm just questioning life right now. Life, can you please reveal that truth to me and anyone who asks that question right now? Have you ever wondered why a person can be so evil, beloveds? Just literally, have you ever wondered? I asked this question all my life. Why, God? Why do they keep doing this to me? And then there were some people who would say, oh, well, it's karma. Well, I haven't done anything to these people. Nothing. I asked this person, can I help them? And they got mad at me. They got threatened by me. So is that karma? Because that was the doctrine that was embedded in that person's DNA. So they have to execute it. They have to execute that understanding. No matter if they cannot see that it's wrong. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? This is why we have evil. Because you have certain DNAs, which is religion, saying this is good and this is evil. And then you got another one saying this is good and this is evil. Forgetting that only one thing can create that understanding, and that is life. Which it told you. Surely if you eat from that knowledge of good and evil, you will die by it. Why? Because this person cannot see you as life. They only see you as good or evil. That's why it was okay for this color to be enslaved, to be abused, to not be equal to their own living right, although they are the same equality as any other color. And you guys didn't have eyes to see this. You didn't have a common sense or intelligence. And you could not see through the eyes of life. You can only see through the eyes of conformity. And that is the program that you had taught to you. Have you ever wondered why a person would be so evil? That's why a person is evil. This is why I say it should be against the law of life to let anybody, I don't care how much money you got. I don't care if you got 50,000 buildings in this world. I don't care if you running that road with your money. Do you have common sense? Do you have the law of life as your renewed mind? are you governing us according to life? Or are you governing us according to good and evil? Who are you? Who are you? What taught you your understanding? See, I got into a heated conversation with somebody on this understanding, and all he can keep saying was, and no offense, because without the religion, he loves God. He knows God. But his downfall is that he's honoring this religion, and this religion has been fragmented, segregated, separated, and it has so many denominalized conformities that his perception may be against you. Why? Because his perception has nothing to do with life. It has to do with the belief of whatever he was taught. So if he was taught under a belief that black people are demons, are dark, or evil, isn't that not good and evil? He already believes, if he was taught that black people were not good people, he's already the spirit of evil. And he believes that he's now the spirit of good because he knows the truth about life. He truly believes that he knows the truth about life and he knows nothing about life. Because if you knew something about life, I and my Father are one. There would have never been a segregation. There would never have been slavery. We would not see ourselves as races, colors, religion, schools. We would never teach this mind to be an antibody or an antichrist. It's just not possible. And you would not be denying life from ensuring that this truth became one in everyone. If you was not the antibody and the antichrist, you wouldn't stop the truth. You wouldn't deny the truth. You wouldn't say only my program, only my system can teach this understanding because I know good and I know what is evil, because you don't know any of those things. You are. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Because it's them. It's you. You are its living testament. And you will never not be that way until you come back to the truth. And when you come back to the truth, it's only the truth that can set you free. You building another program in that world can't set you free. You are the problem. You are the information that is keeping that spirit, which is that poltergeist, using you and everything that you touch. You turning everything into a wicked, evil caster, speller, cantation, and telling it to wage war against a living testament called life. And you never gonna win. See, life loves to get y'all in these big old occults. And when you numbered your days, it says, you number your days. Eventually, I'm going to return back to you. And how I got this understanding yesterday is when I was talking to this person, I was trying to tell that person about Hitler. See, Hitler was one of the people who was already a predestined seed. Hitler was already a predestined seed to get these people. See, Hitler's mind carried, have you ever wondered why the person could be so evil? Hitler's mind carried the sin of that transgression. Hitler's mind literally carried the sin of that transgression. So Hitler, in my mother's womb, I knew you very well. In my mother's womb, I knew why I created you. I brought you back to pay off a debt that you owe back onto me. You owe that debt to me. You came against me. You didn't come against those people. You didn't come against a race. I came to give you life. See, this is what all those other gods and false prophets don't understand. When you come against me for doing nothing, when you come against me for just being who I am, like, I don't do anything to anybody. This is something that I may stole something. I may have, that's not real. It's not real. Somebody taught me those things. Somebody literally taught me how to do things against my will. They reprogrammed me to not be common sense. They reprogrammed me not to be life, the intelligence of life. They wanted me to be their program of life. And if they would have taught me righteous, I could have only did righteous. Why? Because my mind is life. So if you teach life to be against itself, it automatically has to do that, beloveds. If somebody all of my life would have taught me, God came to give you life, beloveds. All your life, if somebody just would have let me be in the testament of life, that's all my mind would be able to perceive is life. Like I tell you right now, my intent, this is what being an internal being is. It means that your only intent is inside of this kingdom. This is why it says human honors outwardly appearance, but God only knows the heart. All of my life, I've been living inside of my heart. All of my life. When I couldn't get help from the world, when I cried out to the world, when nobody understood me, called me crazy, called me all these things, I would go in and I would lay on my heart, pretend that my heart was God. And this hand of life would comfort me. This hand of life would show me things, show me how to see it, what was happening. This is why I have this knowledge. This knowledge has been my mind all of my life. I tell you, the world hated me. The world was literally trying to kill me, and I don't know how else to say this, but to speak the truth. That world was like kryptonite. It was literally trying to kill me, and it hurt like hell. If y'all want to know what real living hell is, it's that world. Not realizing that it's telling you life, the life inside of you, to be spiritual warfare against you. These people literally are ignorant to life. And this is why in the Bible, it's not good or bad. I'm telling you right now, the same people who reads the Bible, the same people who teach that Bible would be telling their congregation that what I'm saying is not true. And they would be teaching the Bible. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? How could the same thing you be teaching, you be against when somebody comes to show you the truth of what you've been teaching and give you a biology and science that shows you through your own self that what you have been doing is an antichrist and an antibody. And you are collectively getting these people in one big, what I would call it was sin, a transgression. And just like Hitler, see, Hitler was a mastermind. Why was Hitler a mastermind? The diabolical minds. See, the diabolical minds, what you guys don't know is it says they numbered their days. Humans, you number your days. You tell life, ask and it shall be given. You tell life exactly what you want. Like yesterday, I was talking to somebody and he kept saying, well, it's in the Bible and that this is going to happen. The Antichrist is going to come back and he's going to tell people how to do the water. And I'm thinking to myself, and he wants me to respond to this, but I can't respond to it. I literally cannot respond to it. If you knew why that Bible, if you knew the intent for that Bible, you would not believe in it. I don't believe in the Bible. I just get the scriptures from the writers of them. They live inside of me, beloveds. I'm a testament called life. So these people who wrote the Bible, they're telling me how to explain it to you guys. I can't get this knowledge from me. I didn't write that. The only reason why I get this information is because I am life and I can channel but one thing. My intent is life. So I have dominion over life. I have dominion over life. Y'all got dominion over the world. But the world is a poltergeist. It's not living. So you don't have any right. This is why you don't have no living right in the world. This is why you are minorities, because you refuse your living right. You didn't choose life. And then you do this to your kids. You see, I shouldn't have had to go through any of that stuff I went through, beloveds. And I knew this. I knew that everything that I was going through was not of me. But today I would have some people say, well, that was karma. No, that was not karma. That was ignorance. That was the mind of ignorance that made me believe that insanity. How do I know that God is life? Blood is life for this kingdom. That's how I know God is life, and nobody can deny that fact. But the devil itself. Just remember that. If you want to believe in the devil, you got to know that can only be and be given reality through your mind. It's only the mind that can process any form of life, or what we call life. So in order for the devil to even have an existence, in order for the devil to even have an authority over life, he has to use your mind. Without your mind, the devil does not exist. Without my mind believing in color or race would never exist. I would just know myself as life. If nobody ever told me I was black, which I'm not black. I mean, you see, it's just a lie upon a lie upon a lie. This body is an antibody. I mean, it's against life. It won't even tell its own life the truth. I mean, you can't even see this. It's just right in our face. Even white people, they're ignorant. This is white. It's like they know not what they do. And it should be against the law for anybody ignorant. Thank you, Spirit. Anybody who does not understand and live by the testament of life to govern life. Because you will go through what Hitler had to go through. And the people that Hitler went after, remember when it says, I numbered their days. I hardened Pharaoh's heart. Whose kingdom are you living inside of? You're not living inside of the world's kingdom. You're not living inside of Pharaoh's kingdom. You're not living inside of the government's kingdom. You're not living inside of the school's kingdom. You're not living inside of religious's kingdom. You're living inside of life's kingdom. I came to give you life. And you want to create over me that fucking nonsense? That fucking ignorance? This is what life be speaking in me. When I try to go outside of this glory, when I try to go outside of this truth, life will shut my motherfucking ass down. Make me look stupid like a motherfucker that I am. You stupid, you dumb. Now why you gonna take away my glory? Why you gonna take away my peace? Why you gonna take away my harmony to go out there and operate like that fucking ignorance? This is what life be on me. Be on my ass. I need that. That's the kind of constructive criticism I need. That's the type of intelligence I need. I need life to be on my ass about the truth. Whose kingdom you living in? Whose kingdom do you represent? Thank you, Spirit. That's criticism. That's constructive criticism. Now that's when I will be not offended by somebody sitting my ass down. Sit your ass down. You ain't worthy right now. Lay your ass down. You're not worthy right now. Get some rest. Because you ain't finna go out there and blaspheme me for that poltergeist. You ain't finna go out there and sell my soul to number my days. Yeah. That's that good old manna. That's that good old truth that'll set your ass free. That's that good old mercy and grace that's upon this kingdom at every present moment. And you got to make a conscious choice on who you're going to choose. Because have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Because if I don't choose life, I don't have to wonder why a person can be so evil, because that's what you are. That's all you can be. Why? Did you know you just went against a living God? And you're living in this God's kingdom. And you're trying to tell God, you God. You trying to tell God how to live his life and this intelligence to life. Now I'm going to have to become that wrath upon your ass. First thing, I'm going to let you number your days, because life cannot destroy itself. Oh, life is intelligent. Life cannot destroy itself, beloveds. It will not, cannot, and shall not destroy itself. It's a genetic code, and life cannot be altered. So what it does is it uses the diabolical minds like Hitler. It waits for their days to be numbered. Oh, life is so strategic. Life tells its own story. Remember, everything that we do, it becomes like that inoculation you get put in your arm. It's a computer chip. It's a program. And you will have to react your own story until your days have been numbered. Let me tell you, till your days have been numbered, beloveds. I'm going to walk you through the valley of the shadow of death until I return, like Moses did. And then I can walk y'all out of that valley like Jesus did when he showed y'all how to rise. See, the whole Bible is a testament called life. It's showing you in the beginning, what was the beginning was Genesis. And then in the ending, which was Revelation. Revelation just shows you the diabolical mind. That's what Revelation is all about. Revelation is all about the diabolical mind and how the prophets, truly how the prophets saw, like how I told you at nighttime, I can see the succubus. I can see when you sleep, your spirit rises. This is the only time that spirit has the authority. So what it does is, remember, all y'all thoughts become things. Y'all can't understand. This is why you don't need them false prophets. And it's not nothing against them false prophets. They're going to be taken care of regardless, beloveds. But we can stop this now. At this present moment, if we all just chose life, life would stop haunting us. That's why I say those poltergeists, we are all being haunted right now. We cannot comprehend this by ignorance. By all these false prophets and all these people playing gods over life. They are literally haunting you, and all of your generations will be haunted because of them. Hitler, I've been questioning that understanding for, I've been questioning that one for a while, and it finally came to me yesterday when I was having this heated conversation. God finally revealed it to me. See, God is very strategic. He has to wait for that mind. He has to wait for that existence to present itself to me before I can get the understanding of it. And yesterday, this all right here, this was the law of polarity. Have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? What is sin? And God is not human, so God can't lie. Only humans can lie. They lie about everything. I'm telling you, beloved. It's right to your face right now. Somebody telling you black, and they will kill you if you don't honor that insanity. Literally, I'm telling you, they will write a Akashic record in their own memory cell called life. I mean, they will do all. And have you ever wondered why the person could be so evil? Somebody right now who don't like black people, they will kill you to honor something that is a poltergeist. It's not real. Have you ever wondered why the person could be so evil? Come on, beloveds. That diabolical mind, Pinky, I want to rule the world. What does a man profit if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? He profits that poltergeist that is going to return back to him one day when his days are its or hers or she or he or the religion or the occultisms, whatever y'all are, whatever you consider yourselves, whatever you have renamed yourselves. Remember, and the word became flesh, and flesh is a curse upon this kingdom. Flesh is a curse upon life. Flesh literally curses you. It turns you into a living transgression called a sin. And you don't get out of that sin until you repay it back to life. How many lives did your generations take? How many lies did your generations tell? How many systems and structures did you program life with? You held accountable. You all held accountable for everything you do. How do you think I'm here doing this today? This was what? This was my blessing. In my father's womb or in my mother's womb, God knew me very well. This is my gift to life right here. Tell him I am sent you. Who I am right now. The person that like the world hates, life. The person that the world denies, life. The person who carries the knowledge, life, that you guys perish from. Come on, beloveds. It's too easy. But some people, they refuse. They just refuse. They will not bow down to life because they choose to play gods over life so that they can get this little moment of gratification that will forever, ever, ever more touch everything that they have done into the end of their days. Everything. And see, many people think that when they come back, this person can save them. No, I can't save you. Why would I want to save you? Why would I want to save somebody like that? Have you ever wondered why the person could be so evil, beloveds? Why would I want to save somebody who refuses to even honor me as life? I mean, I can't help anybody. All I can do is help you have eyes to see. Help you understand how you start healing your transgressions and your sins. That's all I can do. I can't help you. That karma, that sin, those transgressions, they taking place inside of you. Now I can help you renew your mind and transmute that renewed mind into something greater called life if you accept me. But if you deny me, if you try to kill me, if you try to steal from me, if you try to destroy me, life just brought me to the eye. Like right now I got a pinch in my eye. I got eyes to see. That's what life did. Life literally pinched my eye right here and brought me to my eyes to tell you, I got eyes to see. I see you. Did you forget in your mother's womb? I knew you very well. I knew on this day, before the clock strikes 12, that you would be the Spirit of Judah. I knew that you was going to deny me on this day. You forget whose kingdom this is? The kingdom of heaven lives within, beloveds. This is where life lives. And every word that you convict this kingdom with, it becomes a living testament to life, which means that you're going to become his poltergeist. And just like Hitler was already predestined to do what he did because he was going to be the diabolical mind that was going to get all those other diabolical descendants. Oh, life is very, very beautiful, and it tells a beautiful story, but we just choose. We choose to not want to represent its beautiful truth. It will never turn us into poltergeists. It will never turn us into death if we didn't choose those things, beloveds. As Jesus stated, I came to give you life. I died for all y'all sins already. By just coming back as the truth. Just coming back, that's the truth. I came back as the truth to just show you that this is all you got to do. That's all you got to do. It's too simple. It's just too simple. It's common sense. You're living inside of God's kingdom. You are a child of a living God. And the more you try to alter things, the more you try to stop things, you just number your days even faster. Some people don't understand. They fear right now. They fear of being punished by the same punishment that they led people by. It's that law of polarity. An eye for an eye. Do unto others as you want done unto you. It's just, that's life. We all one image, one likeliness. We all equally yoked, beloveds. And every day I will literally hear somebody try to push me out into that world and teach me their doctrinated belief of leadership, of authority, of wealth, of righteousness, of God. And I'm thinking to myself, that shit is all made up, beloveds. Y'all just making up more false prophecies, more poltergeists, more demons, more days to number y'all days, to speed up the demise of y'all wickedness. Who knows the heart is wicked, beloveds? Hitler showed us this very testament. Everything tells its own story, beloveds. Every diabolical mind will put every diabolical mind. Birds of a feather flock together. And when it's their time, when you number your days, it's not me, it's you. You literally ask and it shall be given. You literally told life this. And now life has to carry out your mission, your doctrine. As long as it was to go against life, he will have to execute it. He will have to execute it. This is why you don't get mad at what people do to you. That voice I always heard in the back of my mind, do unto others as you want done unto yourself, that was my consciousness. My consciousness been walking with me my whole life. And it always allowed me never to be evil. Because it wasn't me. I didn't carry that seed. That was not my genetic makeup. It wasn't my DNA. It wasn't my EDA or what all those other 3 letters y'all always conforming yourselves to. They carry codes. They carry codes. And these codes are sins. Each and every one of them. The Anunnaki got a code. The Bibakalaki got a code. The Akanites got a code. The Tribonites got a code. All y'all tribes have a code. What y'all call DNA or EN. I don't believe in none of them words. Y'all done made up so many false prophecies and poltergeists that we gotta just keep going down those rabbit holes. And some people, they not protected. Why you not protected? Because your program don't have shit to do with that program. This is why it should be against the law for anybody who does not understand truth to lead us. Your DNA may not carry the same memory cell as somebody else's DNA. It just might not. And because this person is governing that program or that system, you have to use them because they are now your gods. They know not what they do. If you knew what you was doing and you knew that you living inside of a living God, and this is that living God's kingdom, this is that living God's mind, this is that living God's blood, this is that living God's genetic code. And I don't know which family that this person told me altered our blood. I don't know if he said it was the Rothschilds or some. I don't give a crap about names. I just don't. Names are just figments of our imagination. Caroline, wish them away. That's it. I don't want to hear about that. That's what I do with everything. I just wish it away. That poltergeist cannot enter in my kingdom. You will not use me, succubus. For 41 years, they tried to destroy me. Destroy me. I mean, have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? I wondered that. And today I'm testifying why. Ask and it shall be given. See, I had to wait until I was 47 to get the answer because somebody else questioned the same thing. And yesterday they allowed the answer when two or more are present. They allow God to reveal the truth. Oh, I'm telling you, this kingdom is intelligent. And when you got eyes to see and ears to hear, you got power over life. And that power of life does not honor anything but life. I'm not going to tell you about the Anunnakis. I'm not going to tell you about religion. I'm not going to tell you about nothing but life. I don't care about no doctrine. Doctrine is made up and it is wicked. It's pure evil. And this is going to offend many people. But we know that it's evil. How do I know that it is evil? That same doctrine that y'all got governing you right now does not even see me as a life. It does not represent me as life at all. I mean, it does not. Do you hear me? In that doctrine, I am not considered living. And you can't get that. When you can't get this, when you so blinded and you so ignorant to this understanding, then you deserve what you're going through. And I don't want to say this to offend anybody, but if you trying to lead me, when I say why I do this, it's because I didn't deserve to go through that. I was literally silenced. Y'all can't even understand what I've had to endure because of the ignorance of that world. Pure ignorance. And then somebody would try to justify why these things can happen to me. And they don't even know the truth. They just lying. And thank you, Spirit. Thank you so much. They just lying and lying and lying, not realizing that all God is doing is just reading you right now. Your own life is reading you right now. And I don't have nothing to do with it. In every one of us. If these wasn't my eyes, if they were your own eyes, life is reading you through them. And them through you. I'm just here to show you through you what I am. I am my Father one. We're all the same. So life, when you dealing with somebody else, life is seeing them through you. And when they are dealing with you, life is seeing them through you. And the devil is a liar. Those are your words. Anything outwardly is a liar. You can't tell me the truth. You can't teach me nothing about life. You're not even living for life. All you live for is the world. Do not be conformed to that world. Stay renewed in my mind. What does a man profit if he gains the whole world? Anybody trying to lead me in the world is what you believe. He was telling me that the Antichrist would come back and he would try to tell us how to save everything in the world. Is that not now what you're going through? Like, it's like, but he couldn't see this, but life was telling me, shut up, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Because I wanted to just attack him. But life said, no, 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 no. He wanted me to tell him, like he wanted me to say, and I love this man. Let me tell you, I love all of us. I love us all. I don't have nothing against you. I told you my only intent is life. My pure intent for each and every one of us is life. I have no malice. I hold no malice. I hold no anger. But when it comes to truth, oh, y'all can't comprehend. Y'all will see it for however you want to see it. But when it comes to you trying to alter my truth, you trying to put that demonic spell in me, you trying to cast demons inside of me, you trying to deny my living right to life, You trying to tell me to become another program that don't make no fucking sense to life? Oh, then you will believe that I'm angry. Then you will believe whatever you want to believe, because then that's when the wrath of the Lord gonna enter into this kingdom. Because my only intent is life. My intent ain't to harm life. My intent ain't to teach other people about the Anunnakis, the Fukusakis, the Shitanakis, the Whoopka. I don't give a crap about any of those sins and transgressions. They cannot enter into my kingdom. This is a pure, righteous kingdom called life. In all of my life, somebody been trying to molest it, been trying to chemically destroy it, and been trying to mentally brainwash me. So all that stuff, I don't care. It's not living. It's a poltergeist, and it haunts you. Do you know these demons been haunting me my whole life? I could not close my eyes when I was a kid. I could not sleep when I was a kid. Say, the freaks come out at night. The freaks come out at night. That's when the demons come. They wait until you sleep. And then they get inside of you when you standing still. And you believe that they your gods. And then they get into your body and they put more programs inside of you. You got to understand you living inside of this kingdom. And see, these eyes belong to truth. They see the truth in everything. They see a lie in everything. They see everything. If you blind people even see better than us, because blind people know they're not seeing through these eyes. They know they're seeing through life. Life is so beautiful, beloveds. Life is so freaking beautiful. Life is so worthy to praise itself and to just stand still, beloveds. Just stand still, my beautiful, beautiful testament called life. I got you. Life got us. Life got us. Life will fight every battle in its already. It's like life don't even have to fight the battle. These people didn't wrote an Akashic record to prove them unworthy, to prove them sinful, to prove them whatever you call them. They are already that. They are. Have you ever wondered why the person could be so evil? Because they are. They are. They don't have nothing to do with life. They waging war against life. They destroying life and everything that they touch. And then they trying to justify why God told them this and why the devil was doing this. No, beloveds. I apologize to you for all the ignorance that we have had to be created in the image and the likeness of, and walk the very fabric of our own beautiful life in the valley of the shadow of death as. But on this day, we are all in Judgment Day. The day that diabolical mind called upon that universal law called COVID, he awakened life, or it, or she, or they, whatever. I don't know who did it. I don't care who did it. But whoever that diabolical mind was, they worked according to life. Ask and it shall be given. See, if you call on life, life will have to use the spirit against itself. Life will literally have to use that spirit against itself. Just like Hitler. It's all what we call biblical. Or what you guys call biblical is the outwardly understanding of what the genetic makeup is. Biblical is just how you see it. But genetically is how it's taking place. The kingdom of heaven lives within. And it's all taking place inside of our blood. I numbered their days. I hardened Pharaoh's heart. Remember, God is telling us this. All the believers, God is telling us this. How did God harden Pharaoh's heart? Remember whose kingdom you living in. This kingdom is under the authority of a living God. So do you think God was going to let Pharaoh lead his living kingdom to death? So he gave Moses the very infection that Pharaoh was to destroy him with. An eye for an eye. It's called the law of polarity. Oh, beloveds, life is very beautiful, and it tells no lie. The devil is truly a liar. It just, I mean, those are your words. I don't know the devil. But in order to get you to understand your own beliefs, I got to use your own beliefs to get you to see. I had discernment since 5 years old, and I probably had discernment before that, but that's when my consciousness became one in me, is at 5. This is when I could see. But because the world honors life outwardly, I always believed that I was not worthy of me, because I was taught to look up to people of the world. They were taught to keep me outside of what I already knew. Oh no, she's crazy. Oh no, she don't. No, I know in any living testament called life knows that all of life is taking place in this kingdom. And anybody that's not representing you and honoring you and telling you that living truth, you would be able to say right then and there, the devil is a liar. And how I got this understanding was yesterday when I was talking with this person, and we were literally getting into a heated conversation, because when it comes to life, I'm not seeing through doctrine. I'm not seeing through beliefs. I'm only seeing through one testament, and that's life. And what he was saying was that at the end of the days, the Antichrist was going to come back. And then what God was showing me, the Antichrist has already been here. That's anybody leading you in the world. The Antichrist going to come back and tell you how to heal the water. And now I'm seeing that all the animals in the seas is coming up to the land. I mean, it's all making sense. Like, it's showing me the manipulation of the mind. It's showing me how these people then created this religious story that they don't understand they are going to have to literally become. Is scary. Like, you guys, in the Bible is like, that Bible is biblical. And when he was telling me the Antichrist is going to return, I'm like, the Antichrist has been here. The Antichrist is leading this world. The whole world is led by the Antichrist. And all the Antichrist is a person who refuses to honor life. You're against life. I came to give you life. You living inside of a living kingdom. You were born by a living God, and you're choosing Barnabas's understanding of life. You're choosing the world's understanding of life. Is that not the Antichrist? Is that not the Antichrist? The person who chooses to live outside of their own mind, to live in somebody else's understanding of what life is, in a world that's not real, which you guys don't understand is the matrix itself. And this matrix is telling you to wage war with your own life, with your own health, with your own immunity, with your own truth. Like, it's telling you to tell your own life, fuck off. You lying to me, life. I'm not living in your kingdom. I'm living in the world's kingdom. And the world is my God. And the world gives me life. And the world sustains me. And the world gives me everything that I got. That's what you telling God every day. And he was telling me, and the Antichrist is going to come back and tell you about how the water. No. What water is a living nature. Nobody can tell me how to heal water water is living. Nothing can destroy a living entity. Nothing can alter a living entity. Nothing, beloveds. And then he was telling me about the Rothschilds, and I thank him. I thank him. He don't even know. He tells me that he's the prodigal son, which I do know this is the truth. Because he just answered everything that I've been crying to God about all of my life. He literally, when two or more are present, here I come, beloved. Here I come. And then he was telling me about how these people put these programs inside of us. You didn't hear about them? And I'm like, no. All of my life, God has blinded me from everything in that world. I've literally been blinded because I don't live in the world. The only thing God will allow me to see is through this kingdom. So I don't know about any of those things. He said, oh yeah, the whole family, they inoculated us and they put all this stuff in us. And but God was showing me at that time, God was like, but he told me, he wanted me to say, well, it was in the Bible. It was written in the Bible and it happened. Like, and I'm saying to myself, yes, it happened. Don't you know you living inside of a directive called life, and when you write that program, you have to become its poltergeist? I'm sure it happened. And it's showing you right now through your own story that this has already taken place. This is how I know that this is the end of days. How do I know that this is the end of days? Because everything he was trying to tell me was going to happen is happening right now. The 10 kings is ruling the world, or the 10 families is ruling the world. It's already taking place right now. Why are y'all waiting for something to happen that is already happening right now? Like, I just seen everything that he was telling me. It is happening right now, beloveds. I was telling you about the royal family. It's already happened. Everything in that Bible is already revelation. This is what revelation is all about. Revelation is just allowing you to open up your eyes. It's the great awakening to truth. Y'all just now getting the revelation like me. I'm just now getting the revelation. Yesterday, I got the revelation on what all this is about. The other day, I rose. This is why I've been off of here. When I told you guys about the rupture, that was me. I was going through the great rupture, which was I was dying to my antibody, my antichrist, which is my ego mind. I was dying to that conformed mind, and that's how Jesus had to do to rise. He had to die to the world. He literally had to die to the world, and that was the great rupture. That's what I went through. I was dying to all my beliefs of the world. And yesterday, I got the truth. All the truth revealed to me. Yesterday, when I talked to that prodigal son, he literally, when two or more are present, there I am. He literally gave me the whole Bible. And I was already in the last book of Revelation when I went to the rupture. God led me to the end of Revelation. Remember I told you I need more confirmation on what was going on, because I didn't know anything about the rupture. I don't know the Bible. So that day when I got home, I channeled again. I needed to understand why it told me about the rupture. So when it told me about the rupture, I don't read the Bible, beloveds. I do not read that Bible. Why don't I read the Bible? Because the writers of that Bible, they are part of life, and I can channel them. Instead of getting somebody's 50,000 years later rendition of what that fucking Bible means, which is ignorant. And I'm living inside of the same life that created that life, that mind, that belief, that understanding. Why not go back into the kingdom of heaven within and channel that person and ask them what they meant by it? So that's what I did. And then they told me, go to Revelation 3:10. I went to Revelation 3:10, and it basically told me everything that I was saying in that live message that day. Like, God is strategic. God is intelligence. And it showed me I was going through the rupture. It was me. I was about to rise. See, I was still walking in my ego mind. I was still walking as a narcissistic poltergeist, a sociopath. I was still walking for the world. So I'm literally a sociopath. I'm literally a narcissistic, because I was still given, offering life. I was offering not just my life. I was offering anybody's life, that I conform to that world, that I conform to anything that's outwardly. So I am a narcissist and I am a sociopath. I was. Why? Because what am I doing? Don't narcissists and sociopaths and psychopaths, they kill, steal, and destroy, beloved. They don't just have to steal material. Material things are not real. A narcissist, a sociopath, and a psychopath, the only thing that they can do is come against living testaments called life. This right here, excuse me, this right here is a figment of our imagination. It has no existence unless we say it's paper and you write on it. It's not real. But this right here, what lives inside of this kingdom, is real. And this is what God was trying to tell the devil in the story of Job. You can touch all of this. You can take all of this. Take it all. But you don't fuck with my child. This is what God was telling the devil with Job. Do whatever you want to do to that figment of your imagination, devil. But one thing you're not going to ever do is you're not going to touch my child. And everything that you take, your day is going to be numbered. Oh, remember, you're going to owe a debt. It was showing you that. Everything that you stole from my child, everything that you stole from my child. Soon as your days is numbered, devil, thank you, Spirit. It's going to return back upon them. Because everything that you create, devil, is worldly. It does not live. It does not exist. But everything that I create, devil, is living. Like Job. Job was a living testament called life. I knew Job. And all those people out there testing life, like if life is, it should be going through a test. Life is going to a school of life. No. No. God is trying to show the devil, you doing too much. You making life hard. All that shit you doing, and they just life. They just life. No matter what you do, no matter how many fucking tests you try to take them to, I'm just going to number your days. And when I come back around, when your days is numbered, devil, when your days is numbered, because you, what did you do? Every time you denied me, that was 99, 98, 97, 96, 95, 94. You were numbering your days until finally you would end them. You would end them by your own will and by your own might. By asking to come against life. By denying life. By writing this program that tells life, oh, at 55, you're going to go through this. At 5 years old, you're going to go through this. Oh, y'all don't even understand. I don't believe in anything. Literally, I do not believe in anything. I mean, it's all a lie. It's just a lie. And those lies, they hurt people. They make people feel unworthy. They make people feel like they cannot have the self-love and the self-dignity and the self-work and the self-respect that God has already ordained them with. You too black. You too fat. You need to eat this way. Those are all weapons formed against life, and they're judgments. Judge ye not unless you want to judge. Do you know the root to any of those things? Before you say anything to me outwardly, speak life over them inwardly in me. Then I will change. But as long as you're trying to judge me to live up to them world standards that it's like paper, which the book of Job really taught us about. Job taught us about how the devil just lies. He uses sickness against us. Oh, the body gets, I'm telling you, I walked through the valley of the shadow of death. I walked through everything. When I came to Job's time, my body, I went through everything that Job went through. Everything. See, when the truth reveals itself, when the truth is born again, it will have to walk. Like Jesus and Moses had to go up and sit on the thing and they heard the devil talking in them. Oh, beloveds, it's just too easy. It's just, sometimes I just laugh listening to all these perceptions of that story. So I don't have to, it's just like, how many times you going to rewrite the Bible? How many EGK version, and it's always in 3. ESV version and TR5 version and QRS version. Y'all got too many damn perceptions of life. And not one of them is real. It's just a figment of our imagination. Some made up doctrinated shit that has took us down all these rabbit holes like Job had to go through. Job had to go through so many rabbit holes to try to prove to these ignorant people I'm life. Why y'all gonna keep afflicting me with that shit? Why do you keep afflicting me? Job was trying to show all those people, this is you doing this to me. These are your sins. These are your transgressions. But I will not. I'm just trying to show you. I'm trying to give you eyes to see who I am and who I belong to. Y'all going through all that shit for no fucking reason at all. That's what Job was trying to show all the people. I'm not going to blaspheme life. Why am I going to blaspheme life? I'm not trapped in y'all matrix. I don't live in your conformity. I come from life. I am the descendant of life. I am the seed of life. I am the child of the Most High. I live in a living kingdom called life. This mind is renewed in life, and no matter what you try to tell me against life, these eyes will always return back to one. Life, no matter what you do. You hurt me today. Remember that polarity, that law of polarity, it's going to swing back. And it's going to come back to you once you number your days. Because you're not living for life. Eventually, life going to come back to you. And it's going to get you for everything you done. Y'all don't like the truth. But you like to make another truth over it. And this is what I got out of that. It says, if it is not broke, don't fix it. Okay, so it says, guard your heart through the well springs of life flow. So your heart is it's like a spirit. If we want to see what the spirit is, let's say we're going to use our heart as the spirit. And what the world tries to do, it tries to break your spirit, which is your heart. It's like it keeps love out of you. It makes you think that love hurts you. It tells its own story, beloveds. Life is just, it's this beautiful romance story. It is truly a beautiful romance story where this love is so righteous and so pure that it's trying to come back to itself, which is you. But you don't believe in it because your heart is no longer guarded. It's broken. So the world breaks our heart. It keeps us in our misery. It just says, who knows the heart is wicked. Many people are not even flowing love through their hearts right now because they are broken. So many people in their life has hurt them. So many people in their life has judged them. So many people in their life has told them things that are not worthy of them. And their heart is a purification. And when somebody puts that poison inside of you and you don't understand that who you are, tell them, I am sent you. When you don't understand who you are, you become that toxicity, beloveds. it poisons you. So this is why I say hurt people hurt people. You become the immunity. This is what an eye for an eye is. Have you ever wondered why people are so evil? So evil people will create evil people. And then it will just be one big old lineage of evil people. This is why Hitler did that to his own people, beloveds. Hitler is literally showing us. Hitler, like life is so beautiful. When two or more come together, and you can't separate life no more. The diabolical mind of the COVID-19, that diabolical mind didn't know what it was doing. It was so afraid that life had risen that it was trying to, this is what I got, that it was trying to alter us again so that that life could not wake up and understand the truth. But what it did is when you call on something universal, it's like ask and it shall be given. We get what we ask for, and it don't matter. That COVID-19, what it did is it carried out depths. Oh, y'all can't comprehend what that diabolical mind did. And it should know that you don't play with chemicals in nobody's body. You don't alter nobody's genetic makeup. Do you know that is the Antichrist, and that Antichrist will come back for your ass? Your own sins will come back for you. Remember whose eyes these are. It's an eye for an eye. You forget you coming against life, beloved. You coming against me. I'm a living God, and I will forevermore reign supreme until the day your days have ended, because you numbered them. Consciously, you numbered your own days. And then it said, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Do you know how many people tell you that if it's not broke, you got a whole broken system with that mentality? Do you know how many people carry the DNA of that genetic makeup called, if it's not broke, don't fix it? Have you noticed that nothing that you're dealing with ever changes? This is why we don't have change, beloveds. The reason why we don't have change in anything is because of this one saying, this artificial intelligence. If it is not broke, don't fix it. So, all y'all who living outwardly right now, nothing will ever change for y'all. Nothing will ever change for you. Nothing. That's the world's understanding of life. If it is not broke, don't fix it. So you don't even know that life is in the heart. So you're not going to ever be fixed. Nothing that's living inside of you that's making all that world come against you. No change ever happened for you. No change is ever going to happen for you because of this one saying, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Anybody in that world teaching you this in history, in music, in government, in religion, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That don't really understand that if your heart is broke, you will never be fixed. And nothing outwardly will ever fix it and can fix it because it is happening in your spirit. This is what spiritual warfare is. The person who made that saying, if it is not broke, don't fix it, wage war, taught you to wage war against your own life, beloveds. They literally taught you to wage war against your own life. And forevermore, until you understand, until you set yourself free from that curse and that spell upon your own heart, which is your life, understanding that deadly weapon, that sinful transgression, nothing in your life will ever change. Nothing. It'll only look better because maybe you get a little more money. It'll only look better because now you in a house. It'll only look better because now you own a piece of property. False prophecies. And all of your generations will never change. This is why they pass the gas station down to the next generation, and they pass the gas station down to the next generation. Well, what you're doing inside of this kingdom that creates all generations, all lineages, and all testaments called life is you're destroying the bloodline. That bloodline will never be pure. That bloodline will never have the opportunity to change or to heal its transgressions or its sins. Never. It will never, ever, ever be able to do that. And this is why it says, have you ever wondered why a person could be so evil? Well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Because there are some people right now that will not ever love black people. Because if it's not broke, it cannot be fixed. And there are some black people right now that will never love white people. Because if it's not broke, it cannot be fixed. Because they just think that they're both evil. One believes that they are good, and the other one believes that they are evil. Surely, if you eat from the knowledge of that tree of good and evil, you are going to die. Why? An eye against an eye. You're going to kill off one another. It's just like ammonia and bleach. Automatic antibody. Automatic antichrist inside of this kingdom. Which y'all call an reaction. But in this kingdom, it's called death. That's the root to death, beloveds. We wouldn't die if we knew what sin was, if we knew what life was. I came to give you life. If nobody has told you this on this beautiful day, beloveds, I know this one is a long one, but this is what life presented to me on this day. In your mother's womb, I knew on this day this would be your testament. Back into life. If nobody has told you this on this day, beloveds, love and immunity.